Stephen McLean is out at St Johnstone, but who will be his replacement? And the even bigger question is, who will want to join St Johnstone after this club has picked up the same amount of wins all season as Celtic did on the weekend? A big fat zero.
A big fat zero indeed. There's no wins here, and who will be a win? Whoever's signed, Davy Martindale, favourites 1-1. He's by far the favourite. There's not even like a person close to him. He is the top man. But the real question is, would he leave the heights of Livingston to go to St Johnstone? Would he leave Edinburgh to go to Perthshire? Would he? I'm not too sure he would.
Well, I think he would at the start of the season. I mean, you'd be a moron to not understand that St Johnstone are probably a bigger club than Livingston. They have slightly better finances. They have more fans.
Name me a club that's got less finances than Livy.
Better stadium. We'll get to that in a minute. Better stadium, more fans, bigger club. Probably, I don't know, better squad. That's debatable. But I think St Johnstone, if you're being honest, if you're moving up the ranks as a manager, then St Johnstone is probably a bigger club than Livy. If you're playing Football Manager in both of these clubs at the start of the season, at the very beginning of the game, offered you their job, you'd probably be more likely to go to St Johnstone than Livy. I think people can accept that. However, are St Johnstone are they that much more of a better option than Livy that Davy Martindale would risk leaving the years of success that he's had with Livy, keeping them continually every season in the league with pretty much no budget? Would he leave that and leave the position that they're in this season? Okay, they're not exactly flying high, they're in ninth, but the league is so tight, one win could put them into fourth. So they're doing okay. Would he leave that to go to a St Johnstone side that after 9 games has not got a single win yet? They're stuck on 4 points. They've only scored 3 goals in 9 games, so they're averaging 1 goal every 3 games, and they're already 5 points off the 11th place team. It's a big ask, it's a big risk, and I know it's early days, a couple of wins in a row, and all of a sudden St Johnstone can find themselves out of the relegation zone. But based on what they've delivered so far, it's going to be tough to do that. And I know Davy Martindale is better than Stephen McLean, I'm not denying that, but 3 goals in 9 games is worrying. There is no goals in this St Johnstone team. You could argue they've got goal scorers, but they're just not working at the moment. And I think it's a massive risk for Davy Martindale. I personally wouldn't take it because I think whoever takes this St Johnstone job will be a championship manager next season.
Well, it's a big task, but the problem is, if you back yourself as a manager, I think you would back yourself to keep them up. But like you said, 3 goals so far this season, that's an abysmal record. Here, drew against Celtic. That's a pretty good result. Can't really complain with that. At Parkhead, it doesn't really get much better than that, apart from, a victory. But at the end of the day, if you don't back yourself...
What I would say is...
If Martindale thinks he can do it, then why not take it? But if he's just solely basing it off, well, St Johnstone are the better club, bigger club, then really should he go? I mean, I think it would take a really, really good manager to go to St Johnstone and keep them up. I don't think a Robbie Nielsen should go. I mean, the guy was at Hearts. We've seen him, go for the Premiership down to the Championship. But I mean, I think going from Dundee United to Hearts is a pretty big difference in what could be happening here.
Well, what I would say is before the 4-0 pumping against St Mirren, that's the result that cost Stephen McLean his job. At least St Johnstone had a relatively good defensive record. They had only conceded the 6th most amount of goals this season, which is not bad.
Considering
you're dead last with 8 wins, they'd only conceded the 6th most goals in the league. So that shows you that defensively they're not all over the place. They're not horror. It's not like I know they got beat 4-0 off St Mirren, but aside from that, they're not a team that's been getting pumped every week. They even held Celtic to a 0-0 draw at Celtic Park. So they're not a team that's leaking goals, and maybe that will give Martindale a bit of confidence or whoever wants to come in. But they need to win games, and you can't win if you don't score. Now, I think if they'd conceded the most of goals in the league by far, if they were averaging like 3 goals a game, with the fact that they're only averaging 1 goal every 3 games scored, then it would be an absolute no-brainer. You wouldn't take over this job because the team is going down. However, maybe Martindale will think, well, I've done a good job of setting up Livingston. There's foundations to build on at St Johnstone because, like I said, they're not conceding a shitload of goals. Maybe he thinks that he can come in and steady the ship and try and set them up better from set pieces. Maybe he thinks he could get Stevie May and Nicky Clark scoring goals. Maybe he thinks he can get St Johnstone winning games.
Maybe he could finally get that move for Joe Nubley. Maybe he could move to St Johnstone, take some of that big perf money and put the bid in and get Joe Nubley out of yellow and black. Could he do that? Or is Joe Nubley off the question if he goes to St Johnstone?
I don't know.
I know, you look at Nicky Clark and Stevie May, they should be scoring goals. I mean, that's a pretty good front too. But they have lost, like Witherspoon's good player. Now who's he playing for now? Dunfermline, is it?
I believe so, or Partick or something.
It's definitely a championship team. I don't know, St Johnstone's team, the core's been ripped out since that double, and I mean, this is a fall from grace, isn't it? I think we all thought here that's a really poor season from Callum Davidson the past couple of ones, but in reality, is that just where they are and the way we're performed? It could just be that simple.
Well, people say there's no goals in Dundee and they were going to struggle to stay up, but they're averaging a goal a game. They've got 9 goals. St Johnstone's only got 3.
Yeah, I mean,
Livingston, a team that typically don't score much, have 9 goals. St Johnstone's only got 3.
It's no surprise that their draws are all like 0-0.
So there's 2 teams that typically are not high goal scorers, but they still have 3 times the amount of goals as St Johnstone.
Yeah, and that's a problem. They need to be goals is what keeps you up.
Personally, if I was David Martindale, I wouldn't take this. He's done a good job at Livy. I'd hate to see him go to St Johnstone and then take St Johnstone down, because that'd be some sort of sick fate, because every year pretty much he's been expected to take Livy down based on the budget. He probably should have been relegated by now, but he's managed to stay up in the league, and to be honest, a lot of seasons he's done it pretty comfortably. He's been challenging for that top 6 spot going into the final day, so it's not like he's been hanging on by his fingernails. I'd hate to see him all of a sudden though leave Livingston and then go to St Johnstone and not be able to turn it around, then get relegated and damage his reputation just because he decided to take over a team, like a quarter of the way into the season. I think Martindale should probably stick out at Livingston, and I think he will get a chance. If he keeps doing what he's doing with Livy, he keeps them up, sooner or later he will get an opportunity. I don't think it's going to happen at like a top club, but I definitely could see him getting a move.
He's like Scottish Sam Allardyce. You can rely on him to keep teams up, but even at the end, Big Sam, his record went tits up, didn't it? But there's other people on this list, right? We've got Judy Morris, 8-1, Robbie Nielsen, 8-1, and Tommy Wright, 8-1. So we've 3 8-1s. Who's the favourite out the 8-1s? So, I mean, I don't think Robbie Nielsen will go anywhere near this job. Could Tommy Wright return?
I'd say Robbie Nielsen
is the favourite.
I think he'd like to get back into FITBA, and he's got nothing to lose, really. He's unemployed.
Yeah, alright, fair enough, but could he not? Hey, I think Robbie Nielsen's better than St Johnstone. Not that there's many other options in the league, but I think he is better than that. Could Robbie Nielsen not get an English Championship job?
I'm sure he could.
I mean,
here, Aberdeen.
Look at Paul Hickenbottom, he's managing the Premier League.
Aberdeen could be looking for a manager soon.
They could be, exactly. Wait for that job.
You've got Kevin Thompson 9-1, Billy Dodds 10-1, Owen Coyle 10-1, Tam Courts 10-1, Ian Murray 12-1, Neil Lennon 12-1, Paul Sheron 16, Rise McCabe 16, and Scott Brown 16-1. It'd be interesting to see Scott Brown back in Scotland, but I don't know.
I think if Lennon and Brown are coming back, it's for 2 jobs and 2 jobs only.
Well, I think Lennon's done more than enough to suggest that he is way above the St Johnstone job. Yeah. I'm not sure Scott Brown's done that.
No. Fleetwood.
And he didn't exactly do well there, did he?
Rhys McCabe at Airdrie. He's doing a brilliant job. So, good. Why would you leave Airdrie? Well, I mean, I say why would you leave Airdrie for St Johnstone, but I think you've got to just accept here that you're going to be a championship side next season. And I think for the more appealing managers, like the bigger name managers here, what sort of effect's that going to have on them? But like I said, if you back yourself, you'll think you'll keep them up.
True, but any decent manager coming into this job will probably say to the board, look, we need to accept the likelihood is we're probably going to be down. I'm not taking any responsibility if we get relegated.
I think they need to take a wee bit.
I don't know. I think the damage is done.
Well, the damage is but it's not.
Hold on.
It's not.
What I'm saying is, if Davy Martindale goes into this job, he will want reassurances that he will not be sacked if they go down, and that's a fucking fair.
How many points are they behind right now?
5.
Right, so 5 points.
Yeah, but they haven't won a game. We'll say that they've only scored 3 goals in 9 games. They're fucking shite. They're averaging 1 goal every 3 games.
So, let's be real, right? So 38 games played. So by the end of the season, if it averages out, they'll probably be about 21 points behind 11th place.
Aye.
So let's just say whoever comes in is 25 points behind 11th place. That's not good enough. I don't give a fuck what spin you can put on
It's
that.
not good enough, but it's not going to be that. If Davy Martindale takes over St Johnstone, he will not finish 21 points behind 11th
Yeah, but you're
place.
talking about reassurances. What if he produces something like that? Fuck it. Oh, I take no responsibility. They finish for like 4 points.
Do you think Jim Goodwin deserved to be sacked last season for Dundee United getting relegated?
Oh, that's different. I was like,
No, it's not fucking
that's
different.
a couple of months to go.
No, it's not. He actually got 3 wins on the bounce and got them out the relegation zone, and then lost his last 5 games. So maybe you can make a case in the bottom 6 split. He should have done a much better job.
I think if they get rid of him, it would have been. I think it would have been acceptable. I don't think it would have been out of order.
Sometimes I think your input to these vids is unacceptable. If David
Dundee United should not have been going down. It's not comparable.
do you need time?
Not all the time.
Well, Nielsen,
Does Stephen A. Smith need time?
he's had time. He's fucked up. Well, his job was to get 3rd place, and he didn't get it, and they still gave him the job.
He said 3rd place wasn't important though. You don't believe him? It's all about 11th place here, and is Davy Martindale the favourite?
I don't think Davy Martindale will go. I think it's a mistake if Davy Martindale goes.
Judy Morris, who the fuck is he?
If it's the start of the, if it's the start of the season and it's a level playing field, then absolutely go. But I mean, you're not just going to a team that's 5 points off. You're going to a team that ain't scoring goals.
Yeah, then that is the problem. I mean, I'm looking forward to this midweek games. Could Davy Martindale be in the stands for it? You know, he's got an Ibrox season ticket. Could he turn up at St Johnstone?
Is that who Rangers are playing?
Don't think so. No, Rangers against Dundee. Well, Davy Martindale could job out Levy. There's no fans at the Tony Macaroni anyway. I'm sure if the manager went missing, no one would realise.
Right, final thoughts. Is Davy Martindale taking this job?
No.
No, I'm saying no as well.
I think they could go for see whoever they bring in. See whoever caretaker right now. He could get a decent couple of results and they'll give him the job because that just seems to be the fucking norm these days. Oh, the caretaker at the fucking primary school got his 2 wins on the bounce. Give him the job.
Absolute shite.
No, it's shite. But that's what's going to happen. You were talking about Nielsen, Neil Lennon, even though we said it's beneath him. It's so much easier just to give the guy that's in right now the job.
That's how Steve McLean got it, and it was a mistake. It was a fucking mistake, and he didn't even do good. That's what I don't get. It's not like Steve McLean came in last season and he had St Johnstone playing great football. They got a couple of results and stayed in the fucking league. I think Callum Davidson would have kept them up anyway. I'll be honest. I think they made a mistake. Was it more St Johnstone who stayed up, or did the other teams just bottle
I
it?
should never get rid of Cal Dave.
I mean, that Scottish Cup double should have kept him at the club as long as he wanted. I just don't get it. I think Callum Davidson had the right to take St Johnstone down. And there was no guarantee. It was close.
I'd actually go. Yeah, I'd agree.
There
with
was
that.
3 or 4 teams that could have went down. It was a close fucking battle. They should have had faith in Callum Davidson, but they didn't. They fucking turned their back on the guy that won that historic cup double, a guy that put them ahead of Sevco in the titles won department. So for me, I think that St Johnstone deserved to go down.
They did. Fuck them. They're way down, and they're going to go down this season.
Second most successful Scottish team since 2012.
That's sad, isn't it? Well, that is fucking.
And who knows? Maybe they'll add a championship trophy to it in 2 years'
And
time.
we'll count it. We will count it, guys. But anyway,
Minor leagues don't count.
that is us done. We'll be back later for the SPFL preview show for match day 11. We've got 6 games midweek, and guess what? Have a guess. What's the fact I'm going to say? Not one on TV.
Bullshit, absolute bullshit. This week was a disgrace. I mean, you have those massive games on. 2 of the biggest fixtures that you'll get in Scottish football. I mean, outside the old firm, it is. Outside of derbies, it doesn't get any bigger than like Hibs, Celtic, and Rangers Hearts. And then last week we had Rangers, Hibs, and Celtic Hearts. I mean, that's as big as it can get.
Like, Rangers Hearts wasn't a classic in terms of like the overall game, but in terms of the drama, it was.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the game you want to be showcasing.
and they didn't showcase it. So
I mean, 50,000 people going ballistic at the end. 2 late goals, VAR drama, and where is it to be fucking seen?
no, it's a fucking embarrassing, right? Because I've heard people say, well, the reason they don't want to show more Scottish football games is because of the crowds. It's embarrassing when Sky are showing Scottish football stadiums and they're half empty. Well, why the fuck did they have this dumbass rule where they can only show 4 games from each home ground? If they've got a problem with the attendances in the crowd, then why not just fucking scrap that 4 games per stadium rule and just show majority Celtic Park and Ibrox games, and therefore your crowds are full? Problem fucking solved.
Yeah, I don't get that.
If that's the issue, if it's a matter of, well, it's embarrassing, we don't want to put too many games on because of the empty seats, then just have the majority of the games be shown at Celtic Park and Ibrox, then just keep like some slots for the other games, maybe Aberdeen versus Rangers.
That argument's pish though, right? Because the Fanorama League on TNT's got no fans. I mean, sometimes you watch Surrey A and there's barely any fans.
They show the Northern Ireland fucking games sometimes.
Yeah, and there's no fan. Fan, plural.
International football. They show this international football. A lot of times stadiums are half empty.
Who implemented that fucking rule?
No, but if that's the
Why
reason...
is that even a rule?
No, but if that is the reason, if that's the reason they don't want to show more games, then why not just... Or you could just be like, right, we'll give every team 4 games at their stadium, but we'll just show as many as we want at Celtic and Rangers.
What did it used to be back in the day? Hit me with it.
I'm pretty sure the majority of games just used to be Celtic and Rangers.
So it didn't matter? It was still pish back then?
I'm pretty sure. And I don't know if it's something to do with TV. I don't know if it's like...
What was Setanta? What was Setanta whipping it?
I'm not too sure if it's even a case of they don't want to show the Ibrox and Celtic games on TV because then the fans won't need to go because they can watch it on telly and it could affect the old firm's attendances. I don't know if that's it. But maybe there's...
No, it's not that. Why would Sky, like an English thing, give a fuck about that though?
Well, maybe the clubs have got an issue with it. Maybe the clubs are the ones that implemented it.
No, if you're a real fan, you'll fucking go to the game.
No, maybe Rangers and Celtic, or maybe they're part of that rule. Maybe they had a say in that rule. We only want to show 4 games at Ibrox this season. Maybe they don't want every game at Ibrox
and they can get
televised.
$9.99 off Rangers TV.
It could be something to do with that because they've got their own streaming. But even then, they don't make every game available for stream. There's been some games that haven't been on Sky Sports and they're still not available on Rangers TV or what.
Rangers wanted a better TV deal and they got shot down by the rest of the league. So I mean, Rangers can't have a big having a go at that.
Well, what deal did they want?
Well, it didn't really specify what deal they want, I don't think, but they didn't want the current one at $5 million a season for 5 years. That's fucking rank.
Did Rangers' deal include Brother John being the referee in every game?
Brother John, right? He knows what's up. We all know there's a conspiracy against Celtic, and you know what? He fucked them yesterday. Went for 8 to 5, and you know what? Get it right round them. It's all out in the open now. Brother John preaches, and I like it.
Anyway, guys, that's it. I don't think Martindale will be the new manager. We'll see. I think it'll be someone. I think it'll be someone without a job. You'd be taking a bit of a risk. I just don't really see
someone without a job. Michael fucking Beale. There you go.
Michael Beale. The Beale machine is back in town.
The mall has come back. Woo!